Welcome to another edition of Paint and Ponder with Flipper Squirrel. And joining me today is, as promised, the wonderful Bianca, also known as at Second Home Stockholm Syndrome. Second Gem Stockholm
Syndrome.
Syndrome. Yeah. My brain was like, nope. But yeah, it is. Yes. And yeah, we're just going to be talking today about sort of the similarities and differences we have had growing up being neurodiverse. And Bianca has very kindly brought along some of her grandmother's art, which I'm sure was very inspirational for your creative side. And just hear about some of her life experiences and some of the things that you found beautiful, and some of the things maybe, like, I know you've said that she attributed some of her creative abilities to Scientology, which obviously isn't so great. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to just hearing. This is just a ponder. This is just a stream of consciousness. This isn't an interview or anything high-techy, so there's other channels for that professionalism. We're just having a paint and a ponder, and if you've got any paintbrushes, pencils, anything, please do grab them and join in and hopefully relax a little bit.
Join along. Yeah, it's going to be pretty laid back.
Would you mind? Yeah, hello. Hi, Nancy and Brooke. Thank you for coming. And David and Jürgen, I think is how you pronounce.
Yeah, that was really good.
Thank you. I know. Hey, because my dad lived in Sweden for a few years. So I think I'd get on in Sweden because everyone's quite everyone's really nice and friendly, but very reserved. And I like that. I like people who are reserved, but I know they're friendly.
Yeah.
That's a happy place to me. That sounds like a good place to be.
I love it here. I never really liked it in the States. Of course, I was in a cult in the States, but
yeah, not the best experience, but
yeah. But Sweden always felt like home.
Yeah. And Casey Cat, hello. And Maya, thank you for being here. This is really nice. Bianca, would you mind starting off by showing some of the art pieces and hopefully stirring up some creative juices? I'm rather dry over here. I could do with some flow, some creativity flow.
Absolutely. I would love to share some of my grandmother's art. I thought she was an amazing artist. I have a lot of her pieces here. And she mainly did 3 different types of art. And I'll start with the big pictures, which are, they're not painted, they're sewn in cloth. So she would take scraps of cloth and sew them on. So she called them application. Anyways, so I'm going to grab one and see. All right, let's see how this looks.
It might be really nice and tactile. Wow.
So this one's framed and behind glass. It's a bit of a glare. Trying to angle it so the glare is less. So yeah, it's a woman wearing a flower crown, putting a flower crown on someone else, on another woman. I have one more. Actually, I have 2 more of those pieces, but one is in the basement, and one is massive, so it wouldn't be so good to bring it off the wall.
So we're having a bit of a moment over here.
Yeah.
No, that's beautiful. I've actually seen something just the other day for the first time that someone was making. They take old vintage materials and they stretch it over a canvas, and then using the theme of that material, they'll then get other materials and make like a feature piece.
Oh, cool.
So if something's giving like dentist's reception area in the 70s, they will do a picture of a dentist reception area with like a little lamp, and it's great. That's beautiful. That is so creative.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, she usually did pretty big pieces in cloth. Um, Almost always flowers or nature and people. Very like Italian Renaissance inspired.
Wow, that's
Right.
amazing.
The other medium that she worked with is clay, and she was doing this long before she found Scientology. Just gonna put that out there. So she works in terracotta clay, and she makes little people.
Oh, wow.
If I get out of the background, you might see it there. So this guy's just sitting here having a little ponder. She called
That's
these
amazing.
little people of hers dops, which is just a weird, funny, doesn't mean anything. It's just a weird, funny name. And she makes them doing all sorts of things. I think my brother has one doing like a somersault, like in the middle of the somersault where they're upside down. Yeah, and I have a few. And I have a few of my brothers here right now as well, because he's currently out of the country and he was going to be gone for a while and he didn't want to pack everything down. So I got some of his stuff. But this one she made specifically for me. As you can see, it sits on, because I told her one day about my dream bookshelf and how my bookshelf would not only have books on it, but would also have figures and fairy tale things. And she made me this little guy to sit on a little pile of books or
That's
off the
so
corner of the
sweet.
book. It's really adorable. Yeah, I love it. And then she also made little dragons out of clay. So we got one here. That's a bad angle for it. There we go. That's better.
Wow.
Dragon babies, she called these ones. This one she made.
It reminds me of The Never Ending Story. Did
Yeah,
you
a
ever
little
watch
bit, right?
that?
Yeah, yeah, I did. She loved fantasy as well. So, and this one, my daughter went and got it. She went. This one she made specifically for my daughter. It's a little
That's
dragon
so
baby.
cute.
He's holding on to his tail for security. And I have one more dragon baby. This one she gifted me when I was 7. And I was having lots of nightmares. And she gifted me this little sleeping
Oh,
baby.
that's adorable.
Yeah. I
That's so
really cherish
sweet.
these pieces.
They've got a story behind them as well. They're so cute.
Yeah, I really love them. Yeah, she actually started working with clay when she was like in her teens, I think. And her parents, she grew up in Finland, and her parents had a summer house, and it had rained a lot one season. And when they came out to the summer house, she found like this massive pile of natural clay, and she made sculptures out of it. So that's when she started working with clay.
Oh,
So I'm
wow.
just gonna go put that away real quick so I don't accidentally knock it over in the screen.
Just going to have a little sip break. You will have a sip break at home. Hydration. Say
So
hi
the
to
last,
Hello the Journey. Hi Scientology of North. Thank you for being here. And Anne. And Paraditology. Hello, hello. Thank you.
Maya, who made these, my grandmother made these. My grandmother, yeah. Her name was Gun Lankai.
So, yeah, if I bet if your grandmother liked sort of fantasy and sci-fi stuff in clay, and then she rolled into Scientology, I bet she thought this is amazing.
Yeah, she did think Scientology was amazing. She bought it hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Hi, girl. Hi, Elaine, Toronto. Thank you all. Ah,
So she did work with one other medium, which is plaster of
oh,
Paris.
nice. Yeah.
And she would make a frame using wire, like wire thread, and then she would take old sheets and rip them up into like strips and dip them in plaster and then lay them on this frame to make a sculpture.
Oh,
And
nice.
for this medium, she was inspired by classical music, Mozart for the most part. And so all of her figures in this medium are either musicians or dancers. So I'll show you the one I have. And it's kind of heavy and it's kind of tall. So here we go.
Oh, wow.
He is playing the violin.
That's amazing.
My brother has a pair that are dancing the waltz. So
Nice.
yeah.
I know you've mentioned that you paint models. Would you be tempted to try and recast one of your grandmother's clay sculptures and give your own spin on it?
Probably not, just because I feel like there's something about the like unpainted terracotta that I kind of like about them. So
Yeah.
probably not. She did try to do that once, but she was
Did
never really
you?
satisfied with the result herself. So
I think I'd be worried about maybe damaging it when I was trying to make the mold of it. But
yeah,
I just thought because you paint models anyway, whether that would have been something that you thought, oh, might have a go at that.
yeah. Mm. No, I don't think so.
No, some things are best left
Yeah,
alone. Yeah,
yeah,
no, I completely. They are absolutely beautiful and stunning, and the beauty's in the craft. You don't need to add
yeah.
a layer of paint on.
I think that's
But
kind of the hardest part for me when I'm being creative is when do I stop? When is it good enough? Because I just keep going and going and going, and then I never feel like it's done or good enough. But and then I just never finish anything. So yeah.
that's the beauty of this style, neurographic style of art. Did you have something to work with today? Well, so you would have something to work with, but
I have paper and I have paints and I have markers and I have a coloring book.
nice. Okay. Do you have plain paper?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you hear my dog crunching that bone?
No. Can you hear that I have
Okay.
people outside my window?
Nope. We're good. I think. if sure someone would tell us in chat if they
Yeah,
were
let us know if
upset.
there's like a birthday party going on outside my window.
Yeah, no, it's fine. My dog's here, like having the time of her life, chowing down on this bone, and I can hear.
Yeah.
Like, I hope everyone's not hearing that. But no, I can show you this style of neurographic art. I have definitely got some inspiration. So thank you very much to you and your grandma for that amazing art. I think the first piece and the material.
Yeah.
That really inspired me, and I really liked the natural. Calming was the word I was going to go for. Calming color palette she used there.
Yeah.
That was a gross noise. So yeah, I'm inspired. I'm good to go if you are.
Good. Yeah.
And
my hair to the top.
I was going to go with acrylic, but I've changed my mind and I'm going to go with watercolor.
Cool.
And then I'm going to go with a big pad because I'm feeling expressive. So I'm not sure if you've seen much of the like the neurographic art style.
Yeah, a little bit. Do you start with like circles and then you do squiggly lines? I'm really excited to try this.
There's a few different types. I did one with Aaron Hubcoat the other day, who I just want to give a massive shout out because when like, I've approached you or Tilty Bird or Aaron Hubcoat, Aaron Lyer, you all have experience or passions or something in creative, in art, in doing something arty. Aaron Hubcoat was like, not me. I am not the person for this. I can't do anything, not even a stick man. And despite that, he did anyway, and he tried, and he ended up really enjoying it, which is
Yeah.
just, oh, that is the best thing in the world. And I had a great time. He's really, really interesting. He's witty. Great person to go follow and watch. Definitely, if you're not subscribed already. Our on Hub Cult, Scientology up north, and then of course, lovely Bianca. If you're not, go, go, go. But yeah, he did great, and he found it very relaxing. So with him, I did a stick man. Because he said that he would only just about be able to do a stick man. And the thing is, I put something safe to dry, and then I forget where it is. So here's one that I did with Luke. So this one. This one's
beautiful.
giving me avocado.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm
I
getting.
see it. Yeah.
So this one was just a quick, easy, just one continuous intuitive line. So this one was a quick, easy introduction. We're just going to let it flow.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. We just let it flow there. The one I did with our on Hub Cult, I did with crayon, like pencil, like colouring in. And that one we started off with. Oh, there's another one I did.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Doing the whole page. Thank you. This is the one I did with our on Hub Cult, and this was one that was more the therapeutic style than the art style. So you can do a few circles if you want. I did a stick man just. So mine was started off as a stick man that you probably can't see anymore. And then you use one of the circles. You take some deep breaths, belly breaths, in and out through the nose. And you scribble in that circle, and you just scribble out all your negative energy in that circle. You do quite sharp, just a scribble. And then after that, you're doing the lines, but you go against your intuition. So if you want to go up, you go down instead.
Okay.
If you want to go this way, if you want to go up, you don't go that way or that way. You go anywhere but there.
Okay.
And then, but you try and do it in a flowy line. And then when all of the lines are crossed, that's when we will go in and do. So this is the part of it which we don't find relaxing. So I put my pencil here. I want to do a big swoopy curve like this. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make myself dissatisfied, and I'm going to go down like that in a line. And then I want to curl around this way. So now I'm going to go this way. So you can start just doing this, but then I've been doing it a while, so I can do this without thinking about it all day long. So yeah, you're just going to do something along that, but then it'll get to the bit where we'll go over all of the points.
Right.
So if you're using pencil crayon, you might want to go over these lines first. But if you're using paint, you'll want to do that first, and then when that's done, you'll go in with a pen, Sharpie, permanent marker, whatever you've got, and all of these points where things like that cross, we'll go in and we're going to round that off, and we can take the edge off like that.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
And that will be the therapeutic part, where both of us will find it hard to talk, Bianca, and there'll probably be a lot of dead air. So you follow the lines. This pen's running out just until where they cross next. And some people can just do a very slight rounding off.
Right.
You see how that's a lot more subtle? So you can have a subtle rounding off like this.
Yeah.
Or chunky
like
monkey, like I like to go for. Just as long as nothing looks like that, because our brain doesn't like that. When we do
Right.
this, it comes, it recognizes and the mirror neurons in our brain and soothes
Okay.
and takes the edge off in our brain. We find it very satisfying and relaxing. Hopefully you'll have a good night's sleep tonight.
Oh, that would be great because I had nightmares last night.
I had nightmares that I was getting infested by ladybugs. It's so weird.
Oh, that is weird.
I like ladybugs. I woke up like, I'm not sure if I like them anymore. I do. But
They were cute.
yeah. I don't understand why I was so scared in my sleep.
So do I start putting circles on first?
It's completely up to you. This is a style that is so versatile. You really can't go wrong. This is another one I did to music with Rika. So I did intuitive lines that went along with, she was making up a beat for boob tech. We're doing boob tech for Nance Drew.
Right. Yeah. Cool.
So I jumped on the beat, followed the lines, and then went in and rounded them off afterwards.
That's very nice.
Thank you. So yeah, there's so many different styles. These are the boob of the boob gate.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's up to you. You can do a one line. You can do if you feel like you have any sort of pent up energy, negative energy, anything that you want to get rid of, do the circles. I would do 3 or 5, just whatever rule of odds that is. There's some rule in the arty-farty world that I am not privy to the knowledge of. But yeah, we can just jump straight into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Me working on the pink elephant still from Aaron Hubcourt's amazing story. You can't see it yet, but you will. Oh no, maybe you can see it a little bit.
I can see a little bit.
The pink elephant.
Yeah.
You just got to stop. You just got to not see it.
You stop trying, and then you can see it.
Yeah. If you try and see it, you'll see it, and if you try to not see it, you won't see it. And that is going clear.
Have you ever done quarkles? So
what's that? Sorry.
Quarkles. When I was in London, like 15 years ago, I was in a bookshop there, and I found a coloring book called like Quarkles, and it was just lots and lots and lots of circles of different sizes, and then they had numbers in them, and you colored them, and as you colored them, it became like a picture.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was awesome. I loved it.
I like that. And you know the diamond paintings?
Oh, I haven't done that.
Oh, it's where like you get a gem and then you like stick the gems on. I've done loads, but again, just I do stuff in it.
Like beads. What do you call them? Hammer beads?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think of where.
I used to do those with my daughter.
Oh, one sec. I've got it. I know. I'm sure you can still hear me, actually.
Yeah, I can.
Nice. This fancy headset I got not for my phone that still works on my phone, so we're happy. What? These are jellyfish? Funky jellyfish.
Oh, look at that. That's pretty.
But you see it's got the
oh yeah,
like gemstones.
Yeah.
And these have numbers on, and then you get like a little pack of gems and you stick all of the number 2 on the number 2s and then number 7s on the number 7.
Cool. That's awesome.
You have a good back for it though.
Yeah, I reckon you would. And good
eyes. Yeah, you
and
pay for this beauty in neck and back pain. But yeah, so whatever you fancy. Did you want to do the circles or one line or many lines?
I definitely want to try that. So I'm going to get a pencil and I'm going to do some lines. Start with.
If you did
I'm
want to do the
sorry, you guys have to.
circles, sorry.
Yeah, I don't have any other setup for my phone, so you guys are just going to have to watch me on my.
Oh, that's
on
fine. When we did it
I'll show
with,
you what I'm doing every now and then.
yeah, our own hub cult just sort of give us a flash every now. That doesn't sound good. Just showed us what it got on the page every now and then. And you know what the thing is? Some of the best people in chat, some of the people in chat who I have genuine like care for, have clipping me saying all this stuff out of context and laughing at me about it. Xeno free. She's not here. Hi SPTV Atlanta and Sins of Scientology. Oh, have you seen the Sins of Scientology? Heard their podcast?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's so good. They did Clearwater. They've done 2 episodes on Clearwater. It's like true crime style podcast, but all about the sins of Scientology.
It's pretty cool. I'm so.
Are we gonna?
Should I say thankful maybe of so many people getting behind this cause to bring down this cult.
Yeah, I think it's so horrific. The stuff that happens inside is so shocking, and the fact that it can happen to anybody, and then we get to, meet, through the internet, yes, but then we get to meet people like you and see that it's not, oh, this abuse happens to members of this organization. It's like, no, this happens to Bianca, this happens to Samuel, this happens to Lara, this happened to Serge, this happened to Natalie, this happened, and
yeah.
it hits different. And without you, there wouldn't be people like us,
I'm constantly amazed at all the never ends that are stepping up and helping us carry that load. I'm already getting emotional. This is not. There we go.
Oh no, you let it out. It's fine. I'm not going for perfect circles. You can draw around something if you want. I normally do, but I want to lean into the imperfection today. That's what I'm doing. I'm leaning into imperfection, and we're hand doing the circles. We got you, Bianca.
All right, I've got 5 circles here.
Nice. I'm gonna go. Okie dokie. So I've got my circles. I've gone for 3. I don't know how bad this lighting is. I'm trying. It's not working very well. Oh well. Yeah, got my circles. I'm going to choose the big one to put my negativity scribbles in.
I want to make a big circle too.
Okay.
Yeah, I got messy.
Nice. That's good. That's good. I'm gonna have a. It's fine if you go out of the circle. It's fine if they don't meet anywhere. Just if there's a line anywhere that you like, this random one here, I'm just going to connect that to that one there.
All right.
Okay, so whenever you're ready, start wherever you like. You can come off the end of the page, you can start in the middle of the page, wherever you like, but just feel where you want that to flow and go, and don't do it. Just go somewhere else. And when you find yourself wanting to go a certain way, go the opposite way, because not doing, exactly what we feel, the exact moment we feel it, it's not always a bad thing. There we go.
I can't tell when my line ended.
Thank you, Brooke, for being here as well. I got a load of emails and at the same time over the last 2 days, and I need to get back to your email, Brooke. So I'm ever so sorry for not responding to you already. I will. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Yeah, if we're able to drop just Bianca's channel, there's at Second Gem Scientology. No, Second Gem Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah. It's a kind of a play on the Stockholm Syndrome thing. Because I
Yeah.
live in Stockholm. When I first woke up, I was listening to a podcast called How to Heretic. And I wanted to support them on Patreon. And I was like, what can I use as a username that won't give me away, but somehow connected to cults? And I was like, oh, I'll just do Stockholm Syndrome because I live in Stockholm.
Hey. I think it's so brave. It's so hard to fight your own demons. It's a lot, in my opinion, it's a lot easier for, it would have been easier for you to join the fight against, join like the ex-Mormon community or, another community like that, because it's not so scary.
Yeah.
But no, you are incredibly brave.
Thank you. I don't feel brave most of the time. I consider myself a scaredy cat.
Yeah,
That's
me
okay.
too. But I think it's when you know you're a scaredy cat and you can sort of wear that, then it's kind of empowering in a weird way, because it's like, yeah, well, okay, if I'm scared of everything, then I'm scared of nothing. If everything's equally scary, then,
Yeah.
Okay, now this is where I'm taking inspiration from the colours your grandma used. Like this earthy, greeny, bluey. So yeah, just hearing from a few people speak on their experiences growing up. I know I've said to Eric, it's like Scientology drives you insane and then forces you to act normal.
Yeah.
And I've heard like Jenna say when she came out that she was just trying to think, oh, am I acting normal?
Well, I
And I
think, yeah, sorry, go on.
saying that sort of resonates with me and my experience just growing up being neurodiverse. So I was just wondering how your experience is sort of with both.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, I think, because I always felt like I never felt that I fit in anywhere. And I mean, humans want to fit in. That's kind of programmed into us. And I have a hard time reading people and reading social cues and emotions. And then in Scientology, most of those are not allowed anyways. Like a lot of emotions aren't allowed anyways. But he's from a survival perspective, you still needed to be able to read people because
Yeah.
piss someone off, especially if they were your senior, uh, you know, that could have dire consequences.
How was it that because I sort of have a thought that I sort of wish life came with an instruction manual and everything could be referred back to, so I'd know if I was, you know, socially doing things right, if I was being socially acceptable, because everyone knows but we have no book. So you had a book, but the book was so, well, not a book, many books, but it's so convoluted and insane that
Yeah.
it was probably less helpful. Well, it was definitely less helpful than not having a book, because it was a book of gibberish and
Yeah.
ways of justifying abuse.
Yeah. So I remember doing the Oxford capacity analysis, the personality test that they use.
Yeah.
And there was a question on that one that was about if you preferred having like strict routines and rules to regulate your life or not. And I always felt like I needed, like, I like having rules.
Yeah.
Like, I like rules because they put things in an order and make them easier to understand. And I like when people follow the rules because that makes them more predictable. And I'm
Yeah.
often anxious about people when they're not predictable. But the issue with, like, in Scientology and in the Sea Org, the rules were very harmful.
Yeah. When those rules don't sit with your morals. Like
Yeah.
everything has to go through like a moral filter for me to be able to do it. And I think that is quite a similar thing to people who are sort of on the autism spectrum. I know I've got a lot of profiles of PDA, which is known as pathological demand avoidance, but I think it's more a pervasive demand or pervasive drive for autonomy. I have, like, something has to pass the gut check vibe. I've got to feel like that's morally okay, or I can't make myself do something. Like, I just would be in such a deep depression, I imagine, trying to enforce things I felt were unfair or unjust on other people. Did you have a lot of like moral conflict? Did you have to sort of
Well,
were you in a position to do that?
no, because the morals were decided for me by Scientology and the Sea Org. We didn't have our, like, I never got to ponder my own personal morals and values when I was growing up, and I never even like thought that they were a thing until I woke up and I suddenly had this thing where, like, how do I know what's right and wrong? If Scientology is a harmful cult and it's the only thing I've known my whole life and it's the only thing that's been my moral compass, then how do I know what's right and wrong? And even though a lot of times in Scientology, things, I guess, rubbed me wrong, like I felt um, like it didn't make sense morally. I'll give an example. So their homophobia in Scientology is extreme.
Yeah.
And I, well, for the first thing, I didn't know what it was for a very long time. But then when I found out, I was like, it doesn't make sense, because if we're all just spiritual beings and the body doesn't even matter, then what does it matter what kind of body you love, right?
Yeah.
So, and that was always for me like a classic incident of when the Scientology morals rubbed me wrong. And while I was trying to live up to the Scientology ideal of being homophobic, um, and then at the same time, I was just like confused about why I should be.
Yeah, it made no sense.
Right. And
That
yeah, I mean, that kind of thought pattern for me when I was in felt very scary and felt I was I was messed up as well.
oh.
I mean, because I thought that Scientology was 100% everything was fact and true. And the fact that I
Yeah.
could think that something that Hubbard said was wrong, I thought there had to be something wrong with me to think that.
Yeah. No, it's understandable because of you know your upbringing and see it wasn't just one generation. You said your grandmother was a Scientologist as well, so you've got people who you look up to and idolize and love who are all Scientologists and say that they attribute their good qualities that you idolize and love to Scientology. So I can
Yeah,
imagine it'd be very, very conflicting
yeah,
on a deep level.
yeah. So I remember the first time I never talked about this. Uh, I was shopping at a local shop in Clearwater, and the man in the register, he had these gorgeous long nails, and I was just staring at his nails, because I mean, first of all, we weren't, not even the women were allowed to have long, gorgeous nails like that in the Sea Org. But this man had them, and they were just beautiful. And I just like my whole brain kind of like went to a halt, and I wanted to say, "Oh my God, your nails are gorgeous." But I was just staring, and he got really uncomfortable, and I didn't know how to handle the situation, so I kind of ran away.
Yeah. Oh,
So he got uncomfortable. And for me to notice that it was probably pretty bad.
yeah. It's funny because a lot of people who if you have a combination of ADHD and you're autistic, it's ADHD, and the combination is it comes obviously in as many different ways as different people who have it. But there are some things that are more common amongst people. And one of the things is having macro vision. So some
Okay.
people have micro vision and they can see like the tiny details of a situation. They see all of the little nuances and into the little tiny nooks and crannies, and they understand the minute details. Whereas some people like me, for example, I have macro vision. So I have the view from 10 steps back. So I take in a lot more, I see around a lot more, and I can connect the dots and see patterns
Okay.
and stuff like that. But a lot of the details go over my head. I'll need them explaining to me. I'll need them pointing out to me. But it's
Yeah.
because I can't see the picture that close up because I'm so far back. So it is helpful. It's a good way to be, but you do have obviously a lot of blind spots. But you do anyway. There's no perfect view.
Oh.
But yeah, it sounds like you went into the macro vision and you were like, hang on a second, if this is true and this is true, then how is that so? Like, if they're both written, how did L. Ron Hubbard not think to answer the questions of how are two contradicting things true?
Yeah. I
Like,
think
what is
also
he
a lot of
hasn't? Because he mixes words up. I think he even has on a tone scale. It's
yeah.
like this, like words that mean the same thing and they're like at different places on the tone scale. It must be hard when things just don't make sense.
Yeah. Scientology, I always struggled so much to make sense. This is why I thought I was stupid when I was growing up, because it didn't make sense to me. Um, so much of his writing just didn't make sense to me. It just sounded like a crazy word salad. And I thought I mean, like, I just thought I was stupid and or had overts or both, you know.
It must be heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's because I kept trying to like make myself better by understanding Hubbard better or by understanding his work better. But the more I tried to understand his work, the less I understood it, and the more like anxiety I had that was probably super evil on the inside, and I just didn't know it. Like, I was totally convinced that I had been massively evil in an earlier life, and that was why I struggled so much in the Sea Org.
That's
Everybody like reading, like when the basics came out again, or like whenever they released a book again, and everybody would be made to read it, and I'd be like, oh my god, everything makes sense now. Oh, everything's so beautiful and perfect, and oh, if you just read this book, then your whole life is gonna get together. And then I'm just like looking at word salad on the page, and I'm like, I don't get it, don't understand. And then I just assumed that I must have had so many overts, if not in this lifetime, then in previous lifetimes as well, that were blocking my brain from taking in the technology.
it's so messed up.
Yeah, it
It's
sounds
yeah.
pretty.
It's like I'm not sure if you've seen on Netflix the Good Place. It's the series.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen all of it, but I have seen some of it.
It's like that, but it reminds me of Scientology. But instead of everyone thinking that, they're the one who shouldn't be in
Yeah,
heaven, and they're all
yeah,
trying to hide the fact. That's just how I assume people must feel in Scientology. They just must think that they're the bad one, and they've just got to try and not get caught out. And
yeah.
everyone just has that mindset of just you know, don't
Just
draw
don't let on.
attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really sad. Did you get to do anything sort of much creative when you were younger, like except clay?
Uh, yeah, I love doing clay demos because that was creative, right? It was
Yeah.
my chance. um, when I was, yeah, when I was younger in the cadet org, um, it was sometimes encouraged. Like, I mean, we had teachers that came and went, and when I say teachers, that's scare quotes around that because um, they were never teachers. They were, just CEO adults. So I'm gonna make a weird noise here, just pulling some paper off. Um, like we had a teacher once who tried to teach all the kids how to crochet. Um, and we had art. I mean, we didn't have arts, but we had like art supplies that we could play around with. Uh, but I mean, the older I got, the less and less I was encouraged. And then when you're in the Sea Org, there's no time, and it's, yeah, there's just no time, and also you're not allowed to make up your own solutions to anything, so you don't even get to use that type of creativity.
Oh no, I could not. I love
Yeah,
tinkering. Tinkering's one of my favourites.
yeah. Like I like problem solving, not maths,
Yeah.
anything but maths, but I like problem solving. And like you couldn't even do that in the Sea Org. You had to like, oh, I have an issue here. I can't think of my own solution. I have to do whatever it is Hubbard says I have to do in this thing. And there's always a reference. There's always, always, always a reference. It's not like, and so that kind of killed it. I mean, I used to really like doing crafts and stuff, and I really wanted to draw and paint. And yeah, the Sea Org kind of killed that for me. And the thing that it really killed, I think, is like when I try to be creative these days, I just feel like that's not being productive. Like
Yeah,
I'm not
so they
good
killed
enough
the
to celebrate.
spirit.
Yeah. So
Well, it
I feel
is
like what's the point?
productive.
Yeah.
It's therapy and self-care, and that's important. And the best thing about this, it hasn't got to look anyway. And if you don't have to finish it, like there's nothing, like you literally can't go wrong with this as long as you're feeling okay.
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah.
I had a lot of anxiety coming into it because I was like, oh, it's not gonna look good. It's gonna be weird.
Weird's the
But
best.
weird is the best.
Yeah. Talking about weird,
Yeah.
I'll show you. This is what I was telling you. I've just been staring at. No, I don't think I'm finished. But this is the picture of Samuel.
Oh,
It's got the outline of his silhouette there. I'm not sure if you can
yeah,
see the SP chef, the chef
yeah,
white.
yeah.
I'm just not sure. I'm not sure if I went. I'm not sure about the colour on this bit. I'm not sure if I'm done. But this is pretty weird.
It
I
is.
think
I
it's.
like it. I really
But
like it too.
yeah, in like a cool weird way.
Yeah, I
Quite
really like that
interesting.
you use just like all these little circles and they make something.
Yeah, so I've got these things. So I've got loads of little dotters. So I just went through from. Like, I've got loads of different sizes. This isn't all the sizes, but went through different dotter sizes, and you just dab
Oh,
that in the paint there. Just dab it in the paint and dot it. It takes ages, and then I go down to these little ones here.
oh, they're tiny. Are those
Yeah.
like nail art things?
Maybe.
Because
Not
my
for
daughter
me.
has some of those in her nail art.
For
Okay.
me, these are dabbers and these are swiper offers. So I don't know what they're actually used for, but these are real good at swiping a bit of a rogue paint off.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, these are fluffer approved. I'm going to drop these. Wait, it'll make a noise. So yeah, that's quite therapeutic. Just dabbing. It's quite a nice mindless activity to do.
Can I ask Brooke, what is MSRW? She had a comment. That's a great sound for MSRW. I don't know what that is. So.
MSRW. ASMR. I know that one.
Yeah, I know ASMR.
But they're not the letters. They're not the right letters or the right order.
Do you want to hear something crazy? It's insane. Okay, so I started my channel a little while ago, and I started doing. I really have no idea what I'm doing with my channel, you guys. I just do whatever idea pops into my mind, and I did a video where I wasn't really expecting to get that emotional, but I got quite emotional. And I don't know how to make the thumbnails, so if you don't make one, like YouTube will just take a still from the video and use that as a thumbnail. And in the thumbnail, you can see I'm crying.
Oh.
And it's a little bit I don't know how to take it, but it has the most views of all my videos by like so many more. It has like 3 times the number of views as all of my other videos, which is like, I'm not really on YouTube to be crying. It happens, of course, but that's not really the point of it. So that kind of annoys me. But I've had people say that it's that I shouldn't take it down, so I'm not going to.
No.
But there's this in YouTube Studio, you can see if somebody adds your videos to a playlist of their own.
Yeah.
And somebody has added the video of me crying to a playlist called My Favorite ASMR.
Oh my goodness. Oh. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm laughing. It's because I'm shocked. It's not because it's funny. Sorry.
I mean, it's kind of hilarious. It's also kind of so wrong. I don't know.
Maybe sometimes I do it because I save most of the videos to different playlists. I've got like all of the different places that it's audited. I've got crimes of Scientology, Scientology fair game in action, Scientology legal updates, Scientology tips for protesters in the UK. Like I've got, and then sometimes I'll save it and it'll save to the wrong one. So it'll save to Portland instead of San Francisco.
Yeah.
So let's hope someone's just done a slip of the finger and they meant to save it to heartwarming videos to watch again and remind myself that I'm lucky. And they accidentally hit the ASMR.
I just imagine somebody out there is falling asleep to me crying every night.
So weird. That's yeah, I'm not sure how I'd feel. I would
mean,
convince myself it was an accident.
yeah.
It's the only way.
Yeah. I mean, you never know what people are going to do with what you put out there, I guess. That's, yeah.
Yeah.
But to get back to the ADHD and autism. So that's also something I never learned about in Scientology, of course. There's no such thing as ADHD or autism in Scientology, or dyslexia or anything else. And Oh yeah, the TikTok algorithm can tell you a lot about yourself. Apparently, I started getting all these ADHD and autism TikToks in my feed, and I was like, why am I getting this? I don't understand. And so I started looking into ADHD and autism a little bit more, like not just from TikTok. So, um, well, I found a therapist who works with ADHD and autism and trauma, specifically childhood trauma. And she does like short videos on YouTube and stuff. And I like watched a lot of her videos and found out like more. And then I started to read a book on ADHD, which I only got halfway through because it's what can I
Yeah.
say? And anyways, and then I was like, because I was really struggling, like, you know, and so I went to my doctor and I said, like, is it possible that I have ADHD? That's what I thought at first, just ADHD. And she's like, well, we can send you to screening for that. And I was like, yeah, okay. And so I went to a psychologist. I had 3 hours over 2 sessions with her, and she sent me on because there's like a lot of steps because it's the Swedish medical system. Since I'm not paying for it, the state is, so they do like a bunch of different steps. And she was like, yeah, um, there are high indicators of ADHD and also autism. And I was like, what? Whatever,
Mhm.
that's weird. And also, she she sent me on for screening for ADHD, autism, eating disorders, and bipolar
Oh wow,
personality.
real
Yeah,
charmer.
yeah.
She's like, oh, and
Uh,
also go to the dentist. And you're like, that is none of your business, darling. You need to stop now. You're just being mean.
yeah, and I asked her about PTSD because I don't actually have a PTSD diagnosis, but I could tell that she hasn't read up on PTSD in many years, and she was like, "No, absolutely not. You do not have PTSD because you don't have flashbacks." And I was like, "That's not how my brain works. My brain doesn't work with flashbacks."
Yeah, I have aphantasia. Do you see things in your head?
No.
Do you know? I don't see. Okay, I don't see images. And a lot of people with autism on the spectrum have aphantasia, and aphantasia is where you don't see things in your head. I have no visual. I can't bring it on. People say, "Imagine you're on a beach," and I go, "Oh, I imagine it's hot then." I don't see
Yeah.
sand, and yeah, it's called
No.
aphantasia. Look that up. Yeah, you'll. We're not weird. It's completely normal. Audible. I wake up and it's like someone's pressed go on the stock market. It's like audible. All my thoughts are audible. They're funny,
Yeah.
different voices. They're audible.
Okay.
It's just a different. It's called aphantasia. I'll message you after if you want. But
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
an
I
it's
don't.
it's it's a common thing.
I like if you say, okay, so picture yourself at the beach. I feel the sand on my skin.
Yeah,
I don't see a beach.
I'd smell.
The smell,
Yeah,
yeah, or
try and imagine the feelings I'd feel. Oh, I'd imagine
yeah,
the sun would be on my skin.
yeah. I can imagine that stuff, and but I don't see pictures. And I was
Yeah,
like, that's not, that's not really how that. My brain doesn't work like that, so it's not weird at all that I don't have flashbacks, in my opinion.
yeah, because we're not. It's the same reason why I went for EMDR. Yeah, EMDR. Rapid eye movement
Yeah.
doesn't work because I've got aphantasia. Um,
Mm,
I've had a lot of help in a lot of ways, but it's so hard trying to get help and people saying, "Oh, just do this, just do that." If you didn't have the ability, if you literally can't do that,
yeah,
it's doing Scientology again. It's just wasting your
yeah,
time doing something useless. It's going to make you feel frustrated and like you're not trying hard enough.
yeah,
But no, creating that special place in your brain to go to be happy. If you can't picture it, you can't picture it. You write a novel
no,
about it if you want, but won't make you picture it in your mind any better. But yeah, the more you know, eh?
yeah. My thoughts are in conversations usually.
Yeah,
So
mine too.
Like I'll have conversations with myself or with people in my brain.
My friend will look at me and she'll go, "Are you winning?" And I'll be watching. She's like, "Who are you arguing with in your head?" And I'm like, "Yes, I was winning." I don't know what I do. I must sit and I might be like, I don't know. I must like, I don't talk to myself. I don't move my mouth. I must be doing something in my face to make her know that I'm going
Oh,
through
I'll
it.
catch myself speaking to myself. So when I have a friend here in Stockholm who I met through Reese's channel actually, and yeah, like I was feeling really lonely. This was before I started my own channel, and I was feeling really lonely. And there's so there aren't a lot of Scientologists that are out here. I don't know anybody, and also this wasn't really my Scientology community. And I just like needed to talk to someone who knew about Scientology so that I could just talk without having to explain every single thing. So I was
Yeah.
in Reese's Facebook group, and I was just like, looking for SPTV watchers in Stockholm. And yeah, this girl was like, "Oh, hey, I watch SPTV," and I was like, "Cool. Do you want to go for a coffee someday or something?" Yeah. And then I told her, I was like, "Oh, yeah, Max C org and everything." She was like, "Oh my god." But she'd been begging me to start my own channel, and then when I did, and then I didn't tell her I had because I don't self promote because I just can't. It's just weird.
Yeah.
And I met her up for coffee. And she was like, "So when are you gonna start your channel?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I already have 5 videos up." And she was like, "Well, thanks for letting me know." And then so she texted me like later, a couple hours later. She had like seen my videos, and she was like, "Oh, you're really good at just sitting down and talking to yourself." I was like, "Yes,
Well practiced.
I've been doing it my whole life. What can I say?"
Yeah.
Somebody asked if I grew up in Sweden. I did not grow up in Sweden. I grew up at Flag. Um, I saw another comment.
I'm
Thank you so
useless at
much,
it.
Snuggle Squirrel. That's a really nice comment. Thank you. And Brooke Elliott. Thank you.
Snuggle Squirrel is such a sweetheart. She's my real life bestie.
Oh, that's cute. Did you have trouble making friends?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I'll change this. I would say yes, but I would umbrella that out to I have always had problems with expectation versus reality. That's my
yeah,
bigger problem. And my problem with friendships is I expect people to be like me in a friendship.
yeah,
And I'd chop off my leg and give it to Snuggle Squirrel. Just she could use it I just there's nothing I wouldn't do. There is nothing, and she knows this. There is nothing I wouldn't do. There's no situation I wouldn't be there, and there's nothing I wouldn't go through with her. And I feel that way about a lot of people, but I've had to learn over the years that not everyone wants to understand me, and not
right.
everyone deserves me as a friend. And quality over quantity.
Yeah,
But then there's also the very common thing amongst people with on the spectrum or with ADHD, the rejection sensitivity, which makes you just think I don't want to try. I can't.
yeah,
I would rather not try than go through the pain of being rejected again.
yeah. That was
And
definitely one of the having rejection sensitivity explained on TikTok is kind of what made me go, okay, maybe I might be.
there's a
Yeah,
channel called How to ADHD, and she explains it really well. There's a thing called the wall of awful, and every time you go to do something, you're faced with the wall of awful, and the wall of awful is made up of bricks. So if you've tried to do it before and you failed, you've got a failure brick, and then you've got a lack of self-worth brick, and then you have a I disappointed my friends brick, and then you have a fear of embarrassment brick, and there's all these different bricks, and it just makes this massive big wall of awful that feels too hard to climb over or get round. And it really is about taking it down brick by brick. But every brick that you have can have 2 more bricks associated with it. So because you feel bad, then you can feel worthless, then it can bring out self-loathing, it can bring out low self-worth. But yeah, that How to ADHD page and the Wall of Awful video is really, really good for explaining that.
Yeah, that sounds like it makes sense to me. Unlike almost everything I've read from Hubbard. My boyfriend and I talk about it as a threshold. Like when you're gonna do something, like if you're moving rooms or if you're entering a new place, like a home or something, then you have to step over a threshold. And so we use that as like, or like activities that are hard to start, they have a higher threshold. And some things just have like such a high threshold that you have to have like climbing tools to get over them.
Yeah. But again, with the ADHD part of your brain, your ADHD part, well, not yours, but the ADHD part of people's brain who has it will say, well, I could get angry and smash through the wall. I could find a different way to climb the wall, or
Yeah.
I'm skilled enough in problem solving that I'm thinking of building a door in that wall, so I don't have to climb it all the time. We're work smarter, not harder sort of people, but without the willingness to sit down and learn how to be smart in that thing. We're like, we'll figure it out on the go. It's fine. I'll get it. Stop talking to me. You're taking my motivation away with your blabbering, good sir. You dive in, and then the autism kicks in, and you go, you are so unprepared for this. Where's the instruction manual? And you go, I don't know. I told them to bugger off with it because I was too excited.
Yeah. Yep, I recognize that.
But yeah, another part of me was thinking of how I would find it very disheartening to come out of Scientology and see my peers or people I grew up with or people my age or people with my same life experience to come out and have certain therapy or have certain epiphanies and then just be able to crack on like everyone else. And not being able to myself, that would just play into that I'm not good enough, the low self-esteem, the rejection, the it's my fault, that I must have pulled this in. That would all be added on as well in that position. But again, if you don't have the right therapy, it's not going to work. So that might create another layer of just if people had the information about autism and ADHD to get the right therapy, it would just be a quicker road to healing.
Yeah, I will say, like, when I first, so I left Scientology in phases, right? I left the Sea Org first, and then I was still a Scientologist for a long time, just like slowly going away from it, I guess. But I would often like find other Scientologists on like on social media or something, and they'd be like doing so well, and I felt like I struggled so massively for so long. I was like barely able to survive, which I think because I was struggling for such a long time kind of delayed me waking up as well, because I was stuck in this like there's something wrong with me thought, because I just felt like everything was so hard. but I saw other people that were just cracking on, even though
Yeah.
they had grown up the same as me.
No, that's definitely something that has crossed my mind, just as a never in, as an outsider, as someone who, I've been able to imagine that and empathize with you before hearing that. So even if that just sort of validates your experience of you're not crazy and it must have been very disheartening and you push through. So yes, just to sort of acknowledge that and congratulate you for honouring yourself and pushing through for yourself. It's not easy. I'm sorry.
It's okay. um, hang on, I'll just be right back. Yeah, there's no control over waterworks here.
No, it happens to me. I do like my face is just like my eyes leak.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't
Yeah.
help it. Let it come out.
Yeah. I think with like all the TRs and the tone scale when I was growing up, and also having to be like an adult so fast, I didn't cry or like I didn't experience emotions for a very long time. Like I sometimes convinced myself I was like I would try to mirror the emotions around me of the people around me.
Just mask.
Yeah, just full on masking. I never felt anything deeper than like a shallow breath. Like when you breathe fully, it's all the way into your stomach. But when you breathe like shallow, it's just like it's just there. And that's kind of how it felt like with all my emotions. Like they didn't go all the way in. And then actually when my daughter was born, it was like something broke in my in my brain or something. And then just all the emotions, they just came like a massive waterfall. And I felt like I lost control of of all my emotions. And for a long time, I felt like they controlled me. I didn't control them.
It's like a dam breaking.
Yeah, it
like
really
you've
was.
just spent just like the busy beaver Bianca growing up, just don't know why, but you've just got to keep making this dam until till you're tired and keep going, not good enough, do it more, and you're building this dam, and then one day you realize, oh, actually that dam was just messing me up, and then it opens.
I mean, it just opened, and I thought that opening messed me up as well. I mean, it happened during labor, which I had a really kind of traumatic labor as well. And then I just never got I was never able to close the dam again. And I
know that you spent your whole childhood building that dam. You spent every single minute of your childhood building that dam. No, you can't. You didn't even know you were building the dam. You spent your whole life building it. And then the next thing you know, you're being washed away by a dam break. Water is one of the most powerful things. Yeah, it's a metaphor, but we're sticking to it. Water is one of the most powerful things. And you've got smashed and bashed down this new / old stream that maybe you're always destined to go down, but instead of going down it, floating, taking it and enjoying it over, 15 years, you've been thrown down in a matter of seconds, smashed and bashed and bruised, but you're not trapped behind that dam. You're floating down the way you always should, experiencing the freedom with your baby. And it sometimes it might take that maternal instinct, those hormones to come through, that release of trauma, to go through trauma, to release more trauma, to almost reset, but then deal with everything. You've still got all of the damage from that dam breaking. You've still got to dust yourself off, dry yourself off, and figure out what on earth happened there. So I think you've done brilliantly. Like, I'm not going to pretend to know you like on a personal level. I've watched a few videos you've put out. I think they're incredible, informative. You carry yourself really well. The subjects you pick are fascinating. Your 4-part series on Are You in a Cult? Brilliant, amazing, insightful. But I won't pretend to know you personally. But from what you have been so kind to share with us, I think you're incredible. I think you really are
Thanks.
incredible. And it's not easy. And this is why we're here. We're here for the second gems. We're here for the survivors. And we're here for the painting as well. He's incredible. Like how obviously all of the fairy tale stories that, people might read or watch when they're younger, and it's like, love, true love will break the spell. True love will break the evil curse.
Yeah.
And it did. Like, it's funny how you start seeing stuff when you're painting. Right now, I'm getting boomerang,
Yeah.
beach ball. What else did I see? Shell, like a conch shell on
Yeah.
the beach, and
Yeah.
this is giving nipple.
What did you say? Last one?
Nipple,
Oh.
like one of the offenders on the Chadwick lawsuit, Chadwick court case. So that's where my brain's at, apparently. How are you getting on?
Wait. Shall I show you?
Yeah. Oh, nice. I'm liking your colour choice.
Yeah, I
Very
really
nice.
don't like sharp lines, but my brain was like, do soft lines, and you said I was supposed to do the opposite, so I got all these sharp
Yeah.
lines.
Yeah. If you have anything that might be too sharp to, like, you might have to go over and over and over to round off, you can always just put another line through it or continue a line on. It's
Yeah.
there's really no hard rules to it. When you're doing the intuitive lines, you're trying to go against it. But after you've done that and you start painting, I've like rubbed out a line here because I wanted around here to be clear. So yeah, you can add and do stuff afterwards. I wanted to go for some like green. I want some like neutrals and browns in here, and then greens. I think I want greens. And maybe some reds, some peaches. I'm trying to remember the picture now. The flower
What would you
crowns.
say?
Oh yeah, we do that. We do a little.
What's that?
Oh, everyone's so nice in the chat. There we go. There's the reds, the greens, the browns. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to add some reds. I don't normally use reds in my pictures, but yeah, I'm going to go for the sort of burgundy, deeper red, the greens and the browns. Yep, got it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, we've already nearly been going an hour and a half. So there's no rush on this. We'll just go till about 2 hours, and then we'll do part 2 on your channel. So people go over, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Bianca will not self-promote. I don't really like self-promoting, but I love promoting other people. So do that. Like, watch all the videos. Fantastic, fantastic videos. And yeah, stick that notification bell on. And anything that we don't finish here in part 1, we can finish on your page in part 2 if anyone wants that satisfaction of seeing it finished.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Can't leave it unfinished. Unless we want to. We're allowed to leave it unfinished.
Oh, I have so many unfinished pieces. I've got
Yeah, I have
these
knitting and crochet. That's so many.
pink elephant number 1. You can see as well all of the shiny dots are outside of the elephant. So when it's done, you'll see.
Yeah.
You'll see when it's done.
Yeah.
This is my elephant number 2, but I'm going to put lines all over that. Goldenrod. This is another one for neurographic art. I'm going to go over that. I don't know what that is. This is random, just random shapes. Yeah, these are my. I was obviously feeling happy one day and did a purgatory. Yeah, my little half-finished projects there. How do you find the support from the community? Do you feel like quite supported, or do you feel like there's different ways you could be more supported?
I feel like there's so much love in the community. I really wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
So I think it's just so lovely. I get surprised every time I get like a lovely comment. I'm like, why are people saying lovely things to me? That's just weird. Yeah. I don't post on it on like a regular basis, and I don't post at the same time for anything. And I reckon like I'm probably not viewer friendly in that way. You know, like I don't keep a schedule. I just when I
Yeah.
have the energy, I do it, right? So I reckon it'll take some time to get a fan base or whatever. But I've had so much lovely feedback. I've had a few really weird comments as well. I've had really lovely feedback, and I've also received some really nice emails that really make me glad that I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Putting it out there, because it's not always easy, and there's work. And I mean, once I get to like once I hit play, I'm usually okay. Then it doesn't feel like work anymore. But leading up to it, like just like deciding what to talk about, or when I was doing the quiz series, trying to read through the information beforehand, and And also for me, it's still like I get really uncomfortable sitting in front of the camera. And once I hit play and I start talking, then it's usually fine. And then I'm just having a conversation with myself.
Yeah.
But right up until that point, that's what I would say a really high threshold for me, or a really high brick wall. Yeah, I'm having a bit of a tough time at work right now, so I haven't really had a lot of energy to record anything. So this today, like setting up and stuff, I was nervous and so on. But now
Oh,
that
I'm
we're
sorry.
no, that's totally fine. I'm always gonna be nervous getting, leading up. But then once it's on, it's okay. I've noticed that pretty quickly. Like once it's going, that's fine. And then when I did the live with Samuel with Estisha
Yeah.
the other day, that was also like, I mean, I was a bit stressed beforehand, but then just sitting down and like once we hit play, then it feels good. It's like a lot of work to get to go play, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. But yeah, no, I got work is kind of driving me
Hey.
crazy right now. So
Yeah, I think just as someone who watches you, just as I think I've been subscribed to you for quite a while.
yeah,
Like, I wouldn't say I was the first, but I was probably one of the first few people to subscribe. And every video you do is just a gift. Like it is just a gift. It's not expected. You're not obliged to do anything. It's not even, like these paint and ponder streams. They're nice. Some people find it relaxing. Some people will enjoy the chat. Some people will enjoy the paint. Some people will join in. But this is nothing that people couldn't get anywhere else or do themselves. The stuff you're doing is bringing unique insight into something a lot of people are very, very interested in and learning about, and giving people power when they go out onto the streets to say, who else could make someone go out in Sweden and say, hey, this is happening to our citizens? What the
yeah,
F, guys? That's you. You're getting people to do that, you know? So just as someone who has been a subscriber,
yeah,
I view every video of yours as a gift, and I would never expect, regular or scheduled or just expect anything from you at all. Like you are just providing an amazing service that you don't owe. Like you don't owe anyone anything.
that's very sweet of you. Thanks. Um, yeah, I try to basically just go with, like, I'm trying to like listen to myself, or listen to, like, I'm not trying to push anything, and I don't really like have ambitions to become like a big channel or anything like that. I just feel like I want to do my part in um you know in combating Scientology. I don't know if we'll ever bring it down. I think we're closer now than we've ever been in the past. Now there's so many
Yeah.
people just like rallying behind it, which is just so awesome. Sorry, I'm completely distracted now because my daughter just handed me her artwork, and I'm going to show it. Is that okay?
Yeah.
My daughter is sat in front of me and she's drawing right now. So,
Oh wow.
um,
That's beautiful.
yeah, she's
Wow.
really an artist. She's brilliant.
Yeah, it runs through the family. You've all got it. Ah.
Um, Was it? Oh yeah, no. So I just like I want to do my part in the way that I can. It's not going to be the same as everybody else, and it's not going to be big and bold, but it'll just be. I'll be doing my thing, and I hope it's appreciated. And the comments I've been getting have been really lovely and beautiful. I didn't expect to get so many comments on the Swedish video, um, but I did. And I also found out that there's a teacher in here in Stockholm who teaches religious studies. That's a mandatory subject in the school here, and she wants to use my videos on Scientology in her.
Oh, wow.
I was like, what?
That's
Okay,
amazing.
yeah. So when they, so like in grade school, they get to learn about the major religions, and then in high school, they get a bit deeper and they get to learn about like new religious movements and stuff like that. And yeah, she asked like, "Can I use your videos on Scientology in my teaching?" I was like, "Yeah, I guess that's what
Oh,
they're there for."
that's
So,
amazing.
yeah, so. My asshole, my kid is she's 16, and yeah, she used to draw a lot more. She doesn't draw as often anymore because she also has lots of other hobbies. But yeah, when she saw me setting up today, she was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like,
Hmm.
"I'm gonna sit and do art." And she was like, "I want to too." And I was like, "All right, do it."
Oh, that's sweet. I think with the the old neurospicy people, neurodiverse people, we also suffer from burnout,
Yeah.
um, and that is very, very real, and hard to deal with. So again, I think if people aren't prepared to come and cook your dinner and wash your dishes and do your laundry when you are completely burnt out from doing all the things they request of you, then don't tell you to do the stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually burned out really hard 8 years ago, I think. I think it was 8 years. I spent 4 months in bed. This was before I woke
Yeah.
up. And I thought, yeah, this was before I woke up from Scientology being a cult. And I burned out so hard. I was under so much stress that I wasn't sleeping and I hadn't slept properly for maybe like a year and a half. And I had been in kind of a bad accident in my previous workplace. And yeah, it was just piling on. And yeah, I spent like 4 months in bed. I was getting like I couldn't function anymore. I was getting dizzy all the time. I couldn't balance. I couldn't like I almost forgot how to read. It was so bad. And
Yeah.
all I did was like I got up in the morning and got my daughter out of bed and brought her to school, and then I went back to bed, and then I got up to go pick her up from school, and I gave her dinner, and then I put her to bed, and then I went back to bed. That was all I did for like 4 months, and I was
But
still
all
a
you could
Scientologist.
manage.
Yeah, and I was still believing in Scientology at the time, and I thought that it was like it has to be all my overts from since leaving the C word up until that date, like catching up with me physically.
Yeah.
I wasn't really about. That's when I started taking antidepressants because I wasn't going to make it, which was really hard for me. I was still a Scientologist, but I was like,
Yeah.
I have to take something. I'm not eligible for auditing because I haven't done my ethics program yet, but I need to be alive for my kid, and so I started taking antidepressants, and yeah,
No, they can be a game changer. But again, it's hard if you're being treated for the wrong thing, if you're being treated for being depressed when you're burnt out, and
Yeah,
you actually need, a therapist who can say, okay, you're burnt out and your brain isn't working because you fried it, like if you just
yeah,
revved a car until the wheels burnt off, you can have a very
yeah,
unhappy car. That's what
yeah,
you've done. So you don't need to give yourself a hard time. You don't need to fill yourself up with, this, that, and the other, but you need a therapist to sit down and help you structure and remind you, put an alarm on for 10 o'clock because you need a drink of water. Put an
yeah,
alarm on for 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock's your eating time. You maybe just need someone to tell you what time is dinner time and that you have to eat something. And it's working with
yeah,
what you know.
yeah. Yeah, it was a rough period uh, of my life, definitely.
Do you think that helped you? Like, not, like how it must have been horrible and just to be in that
Um,
situation, but do you think that sort of gave you that time to
well, I think it
digest
took
and
like
assess?
another, I think it took another year, year and a half before I actually realized Scientology was a cult and put all the belief behind me. It went really quickly once, because I think I'd already slowly been, like, I'd already slowly left. And then when I started taking antidepressants, then you become an illegal PC, which means you can't receive auditing anymore because you took psych drugs. Um,
Uh,
so at that point, when I started taking antidepressants, I was like, this is this lifetime. This lifetime is already messed up. There's nothing I can do about it now. I just have to survive this lifetime for my kid, because unlike my mother, I brought a kid to the world and I'm going to take responsibility for her. Um,
yeah.
and and I was like, I'll just get back to Scientology next lifetime. And then that's kind of like it was kind of like the last time I kind of thought about. I got a tattoo representing that though. It's kind of weird. Now I have to get a new tattoo because that tattoo represents me giving up on Scientology. But now I need a tattoo fighting Scientology instead. Um, and then I was just like, yeah, I'll just, okay, well, my salvation is fucked for this lifetime, but I've got next lifetime, so that'll be fine. And then I didn't really think about Scientology anymore until I started at uni and I was taking a course in sociology, which kind of opened my eyes a little bit. And then that's when I started having a lot of PTSD issues. And then my boyfriend was like, you should maybe go to this support group for cult survivors. And I was like, that's whack. And then I went, and then I found out that Scientology was a cult.
Yeah. Must have been a trip.
It was a good trip.
Say hi, a few more people in the chat. They're all sending their love.
Aw.
Windy City, thank you for being here. And Maya. Yeah, everyone's saying the love. You're a great mom and to be very proud. Yeah,
Thank
a
you
lot of
guys.
support. It is. It's so weird. I definitely prepared myself for the worst of the internet. I thought I've just got to show my face because of, making, compiling the list of streamers. And I just felt people were giving me a lot of trust. And then obviously getting modded or, here and there, get bonked. And I thought I've just got to show my face to just show my face, to just show
Yeah.
people who I am and then show that I'm not scared of OSA.
Well, I think you've been so supportive. When I first started my channel, I think you're one of the first comments on my channel. And I just felt so much support from you from the very start. It was amazing.
Thank you. That's what I aimed to do. I just wanted. Well, I had my channel before, and then it got trolled. Someone took the same name. I was unapologetic me, and someone took the same name and was just being horrible in chat, and I was just so upset of the thought of just losing community because people may be
Yeah.
thinking it was me saying those horrible things. So I changed my name and I thought change it to something more memorable, something that can't just have a few numbers put at the end and look like it's me. So I changed it to Fluff a Squirrel. And I didn't know whether it was Osa or just whoever being a troll. But I thought, you know what? Because I didn't really comment before because I'm weird. And even when I can delete it and rewrite it, I'm still weird. But I thought, you know what? I don't care anymore. I'm going to comment on everything. I'm going to like everything. I am going to be the biggest cheerleader I could possibly be. And it's been amazing with, just to see everyone's confidence grow and to see from the first video. And yeah,
Sorry,
it's just
there's.
amazing.
Do you guys hear the banging from outside? I don't. I'm very
A little
distracted.
tap, maybe.
Yeah. My daughter's just closing the window. I saw a meme on the internet yesterday, and it was like those just like text. It's just like a little text. It's put up like a
Yeah.
picture, and the text was, when somebody gives me a compliment, I feel like a vending machine trying to accept a wrinkly dollar bill, and it's just frustrating for everybody.
Yeah. Yep.
I just felt that so deep. I'm like, yeah, yeah. I
That you
struggle with like, I think it's so beautiful, all the lovely comments and the support, and but I really struggle with accepting that it's aimed at me. Um, yeah, I don't know. I just feel very awkward every time.
I grew up reading this book called Aesop's Fables,
Yeah,
and all of the stories had a moral at the end. And I was obsessed with this book, absolutely obsessed. And one of the stories in there was of this crow, and it had this big bit of cheese, and everyone wanted this crow's cheese.
yeah,
And it was in a tree where no one could get the cheese. And then a sly fox, come along, and
yeah.
they said, "Oh, crow, everyone's so silly wanting your cheese. I only came here because I wanted to hear your beautiful voice. I hear your voice is so beautiful, you make all of the other birds jealous and say horrible things about you." And the crow was like, "No one's ever said anything nice about my voice." "Oh, Mr. Crow, won't you just give me one little song quick?" And the crow went, "Rah, rah, rah," dropped the cheese, and the fox ate the cheese and went, "Stupid crow." And the moral of that story was never trust a flatterer. So I blame that on my reason for not being able to take a compliment. I'm like, you just want my cheese. Are you nice? Do you like me, or do you want my cheese?
Yeah, I mean, you got to protect your cheese.
You got to protect your cheese.
Yeah.
But no, it's nice. The community is very, very supportive and lovely and amazing. But yeah, there's a whole radical acceptance. And when someone says something nice to you, you try and think in your head, and that is true whether you were to acknowledge it or not. That's what you've got to say in your head to take the compliment,
Yeah,
so you don't get your validation from other people.
yeah.
It must be a good, well, not a good time, but a better time than ever to have escaped and be out, just with, you know, the knowledge on mental health and trauma and PTSD.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's still so much to be known. I was at a lecture just last week about there was a lady she's a medical doctor and a psychiatrist, and she just did a doctorate in and her doctor's thesis was about um, people leaving cults and their mental health needs in leaving cults, and how those needs are met by mental health services in Sweden. And it's just that there are so many that still don't know, like the effects of being in a cult, what that has on a person, and so many mental health professionals that don't know. There's still so much learning to be done out there.
Yeah, and you think some of the most traumatic things that you could go through, or not even traumatic, but life altering, the big shakes in life would be the loss or big changes in relationship, the loss or big changes in your job, the loss and big changes in your residence.
Yeah.
If you're getting kicked out of Scientology, that's all three. That's in
Yeah,
one go.
yeah.
That's everything that individually could break or wobble a person happening at once, and you're being told it's your fault, and then maybe some fair gaming.
Yeah. Yeah. And with like a part of her, so her research was, I think, in 4 sections. I have all the notes here somewhere because I take notes, otherwise I forget to listen. But something a lot of people struggle with when they're leaving cults or high demand religions is also like existential crisis, because what do you believe now? What are actually the answers? Everything that you thought you knew might be wrong, and it's like such a it just scrambles your brain in such a weird way.
Yeah, it's hey, not only were you building a dam your whole life, not only is it broke, not only have you been thrown 500 yards down this river that you didn't know existed, not only do you feel half drowned because you've never learned how to swim, but also here's life.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, but so like there's still so much to be there's still so much that mental health professionals need to learn about cults and how and the repercussions of being in a cult. But also, I would still say now is definitely a better time to be coming out than ever before, because there is more acceptance of mental health, and also because like YouTube, like social media, has made it possible to connect with other people, so that you don't feel alone. And coming out, like you lose your whole network. All of a sudden, you're all on your own. And then back in the day, maybe you were all on your own in like a little village somewhere. Who were you going to talk to? So
Yeah.
and even in like the ex-Scientology community, like when I first woke up, nobody was on YouTube. There was like these Facebook groups, but they were really crazy. I got added to one. It took me like 6 months to get in because they wanted me to have people vet for me that I had actually left, but nobody I knew in had left yet. So it was like really hard to get anybody to vet for me. It took
It's
like
like
6 months.
when you need 6 months work experience to get your first job, and you're like,
Yeah.
guys.
And I finally got in, and all I knew about this group was that it was like ex-Scientologists, but it was not like it was not it was mainly not people that had left the belief system. It was mainly the people that left the cult the organized cult. So like there was this guy and then he's
Oh.
like, oh, I discovered OT level 37, and one guy posted, I'm like, oh, I went exterior and I spoke to Ron. I was like, oh my God, these guys are
Oh dear.
insane.
So like independent Scientologists almost.
Yeah, independent Scientologists, and just like people have had too much auditing. I really think like if you've had a lot of auditing, it can mess with you in weird ways.
Yeah. Scientology up north was speaking to a gentleman earlier, and he was saying that he started having auditing at 12, and he seemed real
Yeah,
out
yeah,
there.
yeah. I caught some of that conversation. I didn't catch the whole thing, but I caught some of it. And
Oh yeah,
oh
of
yeah,
course, yeah.
yeah, he was out there. And like that group that I got into was full of that. And that actually kind of pushed me back a bit in my healing process, because I saw that and I was like, I don't want to end up like these people. So I kind of just packed on my, I had just started going to therapy and I had just started like really working through everything. And I kind of just packed it all up in a box and shoved it away again. And I was like, yeah, no, I don't have time for therapy anymore. It's my therapist. And
Uh,
I just shoved it all away. And, you know, I didn't do anything with that for like 2 years. And yeah, so even just this community on YouTube is has just made it so much safer to be an ex-Scientologist, and have a safe space to kind of um, you know, think things through and discuss and speak with others and realize I wasn't just the weird one. Although I am a weird one, I am
yeah.
the weird one.
Yeah. I feel like uh, I I've constantly needed stuff explaining to me my whole life. So the thought of not even being able to go to my peers at school and say, "Hey, you know when so and so looks at so and so like this, like what's that?" Like for you, it would be like, "Why are you talking about 2D stuff?" Or why are you being out ethics? Why are you that
Yeah,
you can't be inquisitive, you can't be curious as a child, even amongst your peers, because they're gonna write you up. It's just the fact you
yeah,
are as sane as you are is incredible. Well done. You've done incredibly well. But yeah, it's psychological warfare. That's one of the worst things I think that they do. Is it's just psychological warfare. It's
yeah. Very much is. Oh, Scientology says up north says, I'm happy you did not see it as it ended up being violent. Oh no, I hope you're okay.
oh, did
Scientology
it?
up north. That's scary.
Yeah, I had a phone call. Just walked away, and then he'd come back, and you were talking again.
Yeah.
And then when I came back, he was just finishing, I think. But oh no, that's not good. Oh dear.
Yeah, that's not good. Are you okay,
No.
Scientology up north?
Yeah. Oh dear. Yeah, well, I hope you're okay. I hope you. What on? Oh, that made me. Did you hear that bang?
I
Pigeon just flew
did
into
not
my
sound like a
window.
bang. I heard it, but did not sound like a bang.
No, pigeons just
No.
flew straight into my window.
Oh,
Sorry, silly pigeon. Um. Yeah. No, I can't see any more in the chat, but I hope you're okay. I hope it wasn't. Well, it can't be like a nice violent attack, can it? Well, but it was an attack. I hope it wasn't scary. He was very animated. He realised he was SPs and tried to grab us and threatened to. Oh my god! Oh dear. See, he's probably got. He's probably been offered. Oh, do you want to get back in and make an effective blow? Because he was saying about he couldn't get auditing down to finances. But yeah, he was definitely
Oh, that's
not.
scary.
Yeah,
No,
that
he
is
was
really
insane.
scary. No, I'm so sorry to hear that. Dear.
Um, well, that's kind of a dark note, but I need to start wrapping it up.
Yep. No. Yeah, we are. We are on the 2 hour mark. This is where I've got. I like it. I like it a lot. There we go. And I'm not sure if did we arrange part 2? Is that going to be on
Next Friday?
next
In a week?
Friday, same time?
Yeah.
Yeah. So amazing.
Yeah. Skulle jag visa? My daughter did some more drawings here.
Oh, is that the of the clay sculpture?
Yeah.
That's so
And
cute.
she drew your little crow there.
I love crows. Thank you. I do love crows. They're one of my favourites. And ravens.
Yeah.
I like
They were cool.
corvids. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. It was so lovely to speak to you. Thank you for coming on. Yeah, and part 2 next week on Bianca's channel at
Yes.
Second Gem Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you so much for having me. This was great. It was a lot of
It's
fun.
been a pleasure. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next week.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you for
Bye.
joining. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.